Good evening, brothers. What's up? It's Mike, your mentor, here for Tuesday Thoughts, where I just talk about a random subject uh, that God placed on my heart, I guess. So tonight's subject is, how do you instill confidence in your children, right? Like, what does that look like? Every child is wondering or is looking to you for cues socially. Um, what else would they be looking for you? Just to see how you act in situations, what you do. So as parents, right, we need to be real cognizant of the way we're living our lives and how we are teaching our kids certain things, because right, they're going to be watching us through their behavior and what we do, not necessarily what we say. And I've talked about this before, but the way we live in our house is the way that our kids will live when they're out in the world. So they're always watching. They always have a way of just hearing the smallest, quietest little things. And if you think back on your own childhood, you remember the conversations that your parents had at the bottom of the stairs when you were supposed to be sleeping. And more than likely, those affected um, the way you live your life as an adult in a certain way, whether you did things the same way or you went the complete opposite because you didn't agree with the way things went with your parents. So, two quick stories, and then we'll be out. So, the first one just reminds me of the story I've heard before, right? And it's Thanksgiving, and a wife is making a ham, and the husband's in the kitchen watching. And the wife takes the ham, she sets it in or before she sets it in the pot, she chops off both ends of the ham, puts it in the pot, and cooks it. And when the ham is done, the husband asks the wife, "Yeah, so I'm just kind of curious, why'd you cut the ends of the ham off before you stuck it in the pot?" And she was just like, "Well, that's just the way it's done. It's the way my mom showed me." So the next time they were over at the mother-in-law's house, he asked his mother-in-law, "I'm just kind of curious, my wife was making a ham the other day, and she cut both ends off of the ham before she put it in the pot. Oh, why?" She said, "That's the way you always did it. Why do you do it that way?" And the mother-in-law said, "Well, that's the way my grandma taught, or my mother taught me." Right? So we do these things inherently because we take these cues and we learn these things from our kids, both good and bad. So I'm not perfect by any means. I've made plenty of mistakes. If you follow along on this channel, you've either read or heard about some of those, and there will be more to come, for sure, because I believe in being vulnerable. But I try to be aware of the things that I'm teaching my children, indirectly. So I just want to share with you a quick story about how I was able to teach my son a little bit of confidence. And I'd be curious for you guys to share in the comments below how good ways or good tips that you have for the other dads that follow along here on how to instill confidence in your children, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. There's no playbook, there's no manual on being a parent. We're all going to make mistakes, but we can all help each other do this thing called parenthood better. So my son was 7 when me and his mom got married and he came to live with us, and he loved Subway. I mean, you talk about a kid who loves Subway. This dude could just take down a whole foot long sub at 7 years old like it was nothing. Ham and cheese, that was his favorite combo. So when he came to notice or live with us, I noticed that when we would go to Subway, uh, he and I'd order the food or his mom would order the food. He would always look up at me or his mom, expecting us to order it for him, because his grandma, God bless her soul, I mean, she would just always order the food for him. Uh, but I would notice that there would be a little bit of, like, not a little bit of hesitation, right? Like he wanted to have some ownership in something, and I just felt strong about that. So we put an end to that, and I told him, hey, speak up and or tell the lady exactly what you want in the way that you wanted it, because he always liked it toasted. And it was kind of cool, to see him look up at the lady and tell her that he wanted his ham and cheese on white, and then ask her to have it toasted, and then to just see the pride that came to him from being able to do that, right? Like knowing that he was capable of doing that for himself, and he just needed, like a gentle push into that. And those type of situations have played themselves out in different ways as he's gotten older. But they I think back to my own life, and my grandpa was really good at doing that, right? Like he would teach me something, like when it came to cooking, he would show me exactly how to cook it, and then the next time he would just tell me, all right, I showed you, so hopefully you're paying attention, now it's on you. And sometimes I messed it up, and sometimes I got it right, but the confidence that uh, he was able to instill in me by teaching me those things, and giving me room to make mistakes and to fail was huge, and I rely on that today. Like I'm very, um, I may not be the smartest, but I'm very sure of my willingness and will, I guess that's the same thing. Yeah, my willingness to figure things out, right? Like I won't give up. Like I will research, I will find out how to do it, and I will teach myself how to do it if I need to. And that's a really good skill to have, right? To be resilient, and that's how I want my kids to be. So I'm curious to know your thoughts tonight on Tuesday. If you're watching this video, please comment below on maybe a way or two that you installed confidence in your own kids, or your parents were able to install confidence in you. And if you're enjoying these videos, please share them. I really appreciate it when you guys do that and like these videos. And we'll be back tomorrow for Wednesday Wisdom. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.